Okay, thank you. Honourable Minister for Minerals, Anthony Mvande, Mining Commissioner Ngualla, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Habari za asubuhi, or good morning everybody. Draw your attention to our disclaimer. Okay, so PEK is focused on developing the Ngualla rare earth project in Tanzania in partnership with our largest shareholder, Shenghe, and the government of Tanzania. We're Perth headquartered, we're listed on the ASX, and we trade at a substantial discount to our fair value. The Ngualla project will be developed by our Tanzanian subsidiary, Mamba Minerals, in which we currently hold an 84% interest, with the government holding a 16% free carried interest. Importantly, we've recently signed a term sheet with Shenghe covering an integrated investment development and funding solution. So under that arrangement, Shenghe will subscribe for a 50% interest in Ngualla Group UK, which is our holding company. Shenghe will they'll put in $96 million. They will then arrange debt funding for the balance of development costs, and Shenghe will also deliver an engineering and construction solution. So post-completion, both Shenghe and PEK will have a 42% effective interest in the Mamba entities in the Ngualla project. PEK, importantly, will retain a casting vote at a Ngualla Group UK level. That's important because it gives us a controlling interest in the project. And of course, the government will retain a 16% free carried interest. The Ngualla project is absolutely world-class. So it's one of the highest grade undeveloped rare earth projects in the world, both from a total rare earth oxide perspective as well as an NdPr or neodymium praseodymium perspective. The project is multi-generational, so we've got a plus 24-year life of mine supported by JORC compliant ore reserves. But importantly, those ore reserves account for less than 20% of the resource base. We have very low levels of radionuclides, so very low levels of uranium and thorium, and this is an issue that has plagued many other rare earth development projects around the world. We do not have that issue. It's world scale, so life of mine will contain 3.6 thousand tonnes per annum of NdPr oxide and about 4.1 thousand tonnes per annum for the first 6 years. Importantly, significant exploration and development upside, as evidenced by our recent critical minerals exploration program. So the Ngualla project now is the most advanced rare earth development project in the world, and it has been substantially de-risked. We've got a special mining licence in place. We've got a binding framework agreement with the government. We've completed a BFS update and a FEED study. We've got a binding 7-year take-or-pay offtake agreement. And with the recent signing of a term sheet with Shenghe, we now have a fully funded development solution. So, as we've already heard, Tanzania very much open for business. Last 5 years, we've seen significant economic development and growth. The country is very much distinguished by its track record around peace, national unity, and social cohesion. Importantly, Tanzania is not aligned from a geopolitical perspective and has been very successful in developing very strong diplomatic relationships, as well as securing investment, funding, and infrastructure support, not only from the US, but also Europe, the Middle East, China, and Africa more broadly, and you can see Kamala Harris in country last year for a state visit. So Tanzania, as we've heard, already an established mining jurisdiction, but rapidly improving under the presidency of Samia Suluhu Hassan. So under her presidency, we've seen an increased focus and momentum in the mining sector, the grant of multiple framework agreements and special mining licenses, but equally as important, a much more collegiate and commercial approach to mining. So whilst the country, historically known for gold and diamonds and obviously tanzanite, we can see from the chart is bestowed with high-quality critical minerals deposits, not only in rare earths, but obviously in graphite, lithium, and nickel. And on the nickel front, as mentioned by the Minister, BHP's $90 million investment into Kabanga Nickel and Tembo seen as a major endorsement of country and its mining sector. So our relationship and partnership with Shenghe is both transformational and multifaceted. It provides us with a binding take-or-pay offtake agreement. It delivers us a complete funding solution. It enables Shenghe for us to leverage Shenghe's rare earth development expertise through an engineering and construction solution. And it enables us to draw upon Shenghe's considerable rare earth technical expertise to further optimise the project and particularly the flow sheet, as well as collaborate on a downstream rare earth refinery in the future. So given the plethora of rare earth development projects around the world, why is Shenghe focusing its resources, capital and expertise on the Ngualla project? And the shorter answer is because they regard this as the premier, the best undeveloped rare earth project in the world. So we've set out a little bit more detail around our funding structure with Shenghe. So as mentioned, Shenghe will inject Aussie $96 million into Ngualla Group UK for a 50% stake. We'll retain a casting vote to give us effective control, and the balance of Ngualla's project development costs will be funded by a Shenghe arranged debt facility, which we expect to be on materially more attractive terms than a typical international project financing facility. So that combination of Shenghe's technical and funding support means that Mamba and PEK shareholders will benefit from a technically enhanced and lower cost project that is fully funded with no requirement for shareholders to contribute further equity funding. So a little bit more about Shenghe. They're our largest shareholder with a circa 19.9% stake. They've invested in excess of 45 million Australian dollars in PEK to date. Non-SOE listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, market cap of around $2 billion. They are the largest importer of rare earth concentrate into China, internationally recognised for their rare earth expertise, particularly in the processing of bastnasite mineralisation, which is what we have at Ngualla, and have recently acquired Strandline's Tanzanian mineral sands portfolio. So very internationally active, and we think uniquely positioned to add value to the Ngualla Group. Importantly, Shenghe has a proven track record of cooperating with MP Materials in the US around the restart of their Mountain Pass project in California. And that project was restarted as a high-grade bastnasite concentrate project, so very similar mineralisation to what we've got, very similar development approach. So Shenghe played a critical role around that restart, augmented its circa 8% shareholding in MP with a 100% offtake solution and technical and funding support. So with the assistance of Shenghe, MP was able to further optimise their flow sheet. They were able to boost their grades and recoveries, expand production. And now MP is in the process of moving further downstream. So from the production of a high-grade bastnasite concentrate, which is what we're going to produce, into the production of NdPr oxide and high-strength permanent magnets. So that's creating a really interesting void in the concentrate market, and one that we are uniquely positioned to fill, particularly with the assistance of Shenghe. So our binding offtake agreement with Shenghe is extremely attractive. Covers 100% of rare earth concentrate, a minimum of 50% of anything that we do further downstream, structured as a take or pay with an initial 7-year term. And as highlighted on the chart on the right-hand side, delivers extremely attractive payability and pricing. With the assistance of the Government of Tanzania, we've recently been able to expand our special mining licence area to include 2 historical prospecting licences. That means that we've near tripled the size of our SML area from about 18 square kilometres to about 51 square kilometres. That provides us with a much larger footprint to develop the project. It's also now creating an opportunity for us to relocate things like our tailings storage facility, our power plant, processing plant, administration and other storage from the top of Ngualla Hill to flatter areas. That's going to save us a lot of money around roadworks, bulk earthworks and the like. That larger footprint will enable us to pursue future expansions of our rare earth project, as well as accommodate potential standalone phosphate and fluorspar projects in the future. Gives us a much larger footprint to continue our exploration programs, as well as potentially develop future downstream operations on site as well. Notwithstanding that Ngualla benefits from a very low capex and operating cost structure, we are progressing some further cost and optimisation initiatives at the moment. These include some initiatives that came out of the completion of our FEED study end of last year, and also some additional opportunities that have more recently been identified by Shenghe. So in addition to reconfiguring the project layout that I've touched on, we've identified an opportunity to combine packages for earthworks, civils, contract mining to deliver improved pricing. Rather than building a new airstrip, we're now going to refurbish an existing airstrip and expand that. We've identified an opportunity to further boost plant recovery. So previously we were at a pretty conservative 80%. We've identified an opportunity to take that to 88%. With the assistance of Shenghe, we're redesigning aspects of the processing plant. We think there's the potential to move from a two-stage to a one-stage flotation process, as well as adopting lower cost plant reagent engineering solutions that have been identified by Shenghe. From a timing perspective, we've agreed to collaborate with Shenghe on expediting documentation and the execution of binding legal agreements, so taking that term sheet and putting it into a legally binding form. Working together to satisfy conditions precedents as quickly as possible, continuing to work together to optimise and take costs out of the project, and then target a final investment decision before the end of the year, with the commencement of construction to start in early 2025. We continue to be very active at site with recent activities, including an expansion of the Ngualla camp. We can now accommodate up to 50 people. We've constructed a new office at site. We've connected the camp to the TANESCO power grid, and also have been doing a lot of maintenance improvements on our road networks. Planned activities coming months ahead of a final investment decision. We've got planned work on our airstrip and the commencement of some pre-strip and early mining activities at Ngualla Hill. Our approach to sustainability is well captured by the Swahili phrase kazi wajibu utu, which talks to work responsibility and humanity. So some of the historical initiatives that we've pursued that are very much aligned to this philosophy include construction of multiple teachers' houses and classrooms, reconstruction of 46 kilometres of road connecting the Ngualla village, which has changed people's lives, funding for a local medical clinic, as well as the recent appointment of a paramedic. As we look forward, key initiatives going forward, we're going to construct 2 classrooms as part of a new high school. We're constructing the community's first police station and pursuing a major tree planting exercise. Our recent exploration program has been extremely successful and supports our view that Ngualla is both multi-generational and multi-commodity. Programs focused on the northern zone, which is to the north of the bastnasite zone that holds our rare earth ore reserves, and the breccia zone to the northeast. So that's entailed development of a geological model in the northern zone, assaying of trench samples in about 57 drill holes, about 4,200 metres of drilling. So within the northern zone, we've identified widespread high-grade phosphate mineralisation. You can see on the chart on the left-hand side that is open in multiple directions, and we think has the potential to support a standalone phosphate project. Within the breccia zone, combination of drill holes and assaying of trench samples supports what could be a globally significant fluorspar project. And as shown on the chart, we've got some very high-grade intercepts of fluorspar, some of those in the high 50s and low 60s. So, in summary, the Ngualla project is the most advanced rare earth development project in the world and is rapidly progressing towards a final investment decision before the end of the year. It is not only distinguished by a world-class rare earth deposit, but by an integrated offtake development and funding solution. It benefits from strong support from Shenghe and the government of Tanzania with significant exploration and development upside. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, asante sana, thank you very much.